this the other day with a group of people, and I was talking about mellow birds.
Mellow yellow. No, yeah, we were having our meeting. Yeah.
And Mark doesn't remember mellow birds.
Way before my time.
Can you still get mellow birds coffee?
Lee Durrant. I always imagine you in the stationery cupboard. It's like where Gordon the Gopher lives. Thanks, Lee, again for last night. It was a lovely live. Thank you.
Yeah, check out Mark and Lee's live because they very
On my
bravely,
Instagram.
as two men, it's great to see two men talking about feelings, talked about
Chewing a cud, mate, weren't we?
loneliness and other things. So
Chewing a cud.
check it out. Mark's uploaded it onto his Instagram feed, so if you missed it, check it out. And follow at lee.durrant as well because he's a damn fine chap.
So mellow yellow.
Does anyone remember Mellow Birds coffee?
They call
Morning,
it
Nadia.
Mellow
I loved
Yellow.
Mellow Birds. Do you remember the ad where it was a blue pot and then a little bird, a bit like the Twitter bird.
All right.
Looks like the Twitter would
That
fly
does
in
ring
and
a
go,
bell. It does ring a
"Mellow
bell.
Birds."
Yeah, it does ring a bell.
Does anybody remember it? Did anybody like it? It was probably a very weak coffee. Oh, I don't know actually. It was very dusty, I think.
Happy anniversary, Anastasia Alexander. 10th wedding anniversary today. Happy anniversary,
Happy
Anastasia.
anniversary, Anastasia, and who?
And her husband.
And her husband.
Anastasia
His name.
Alexander and her husband.
Anastasia Alexander and her husband.
Yeah.
My
Mellow
gran
birds
liked-
will make you smile, says Pixie
Yeah.
Peddler. Is that the strap line?
Mellow birds will make you smile.
Oh, Carly, you know, send Sophie my love when she's back from school. Mellow birds will make you smile. It does ring a bell. Does anyone
Because
else remember the?
I like mellow because I like the taste to be mild. I don't
Yeah.
like to be bitten with it, but I like to feel. But I still like it strong.
Happy Bernie says you can still buy mellow birds.
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh my God! You've got to buy a mellow bird.
You're clearly more excited about this than me.
Well, just because I'm into retro things at the moment. The girls yesterday brought up a picture of Tab. Do you remember Tab, the fizzy drink?
Oh God, I was asking
Such a
about
great
that. Yeah.
can.
Tab. The Tab tin was great. Does anyone else remember Quattro? Do you remember when Quattro came out? And it
Oh.
had 4 squares on it, and
What
they
was
all
it?
multicoloured, and it had a cue.
A drink?
Yeah, it was like a tropical juice. It was a sort of. Does anyone else remember Quattro?
Remember lived for a totally tropical taste. And whenever the ad used to come on, me and my sisters used to go and get the broom. And what did we
Right.
do with the broom? Who can guess what we
Ride
did with the
it
broom?
like a horse.
No. What did we do when we got the broom out after the Lil ad? Come on. Oh yeah, Pink Lady said it tasted
Sang like
awful.
with it like a microphone.
No.
Hulu dress.
Somebody's going to get it because somebody is always smart enough to work out my twisted brain.
People remember Quattro.
What did me and my sisters do when we did Lilt?
Oh,
on
you did the
totally-
limbo.
Yes!
Tracy Gates got it.
Dawn Clarico got it. You never, literally, we could ask anything and somebody would know it. Because you're so on it, guys.
Sophie R. I did the Emmys in the weekly rushes. I had to chew through the Emmys in the weekly rushes.
What, on Bongo. Yeah, on Bongo.
Bungo, they drink it in the Congo. The
Congo. Yeah.
Umbongo. What happened to all those adverts for cereals and things like that? Cocoa Pops. Do you remember that? All that? Have they been banned? Is it because they
Yeah, I
wasn't
think
so
because
sugar?
they're all sugary and everything, and then
I mean, I
think there's all
understand that.
sorts of cultural
I
appropriation and all
Well, I
sorts of
understand
things
that.
now that you couldn't do
But can I just say the world's a whole lot more fucking boring without them?
without sugar ads.
Without sugar ads. I mean, I know we shouldn't say that's politically
We
incorrect.
like the sugar ads. Bring
Yeah.
on the sugar. No,
I
we
also
really
want them
shouldn't
to.
say that.
Yes, we should. Bring back the sugar ads, and I think they should. Kiora. Oh, Kiora. How did the music to that go? Kiora.
Man from Del Monte. He said yes. Yes.
Kiora. Kiora. Yeah, I remember
Want
that.
to get more? Oh no, that's a Tora. A Tora.
Remember the Honey
Gonna
Monster?
Get warmer.
Remember the Honey Monster? Loved Umbongo. Bring back the sugar ads. They were fun. I mean, you know, you've got to just throw a younger generation under the bus just to have more fun, I think. Anyway, so that was a curious detour.
Well, it's nice to just have a bit of a warm up, a bit of a
Nice,
chat.
it's mellow yellow.
And the mellow yellow.
Milky Bar Kid. I went to
Yeah.
college with one of them. There were more than one Milky Bar Kids, but I went to university with the Milky Bar Kid. Of course, everyone kept saying all the beers are on you because he'd say Milky Bars are on me. Do you remember? Milky Bars are on me, and we'd be like, "Come on, then, buy us a beer. You can still get on Bongo." Oh, white slim on it. Don't get us going on that.
Oh God.
Don't.
I want to recreate that. Oh wait.
I'm a secret lemonade drinker.
Oh wait.
Oh, I've been trying to give it up, but it's one of those nights. Oh, it's 78. Nobody could ever. He'd have a sort of fit. He'd sort of have a breakdown, wouldn't he, by the fridge? Bloody hell! The Tango slap adverts.
Oh, you are really shouting so much.
Sorry, I got so excited
I
about
keep
that.
waiting to see if you're going to bring it down because I know he gets really annoyed if I tell you shout, but you're really shouting.
The Tango ads, where they'd slap. And they
Yeah,
were
go
banned
orange.
because they were encouraging violence. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Because we used to do it at school. We did the
I think
Tango
Our
slap.
Whites was one of the best adverts ever. Somebody just said, I really want it. It just always made us laugh. We loved it. Ads used to be so good, didn't
Yeah,
they?
they're shit now. Depressed. Depressed about that. Anyway,
Thank you, Lisa Child. That's a lovely thing to say. And just watch your level because you are quite shallow.
sorry.
I feel like I'm too young for this conversation. I'm so confused. We've done that to you before, haven't we, Amy? Let's get back to order of the day.
Anne H, we didn't have our whites in Ireland. We missed out. You did.
You did.
Morning, Miss One Tricia. We haven't seen you in a while. Lovely to have you back.
Morning. And don't forget, if you want us to sing happy birthday, tell us and we'll do it at the end.
Yeah.
So let's get to the order of the day so Amy and other younger people here can know what the hell we're talking about.
Well, the first thing we're talking about is queuing. Respectful queuing. And I can't find the story which I had for that. But basically, there's millions of people. Well, not millions, but there's tens of thousands of people queuing to see the Queen. And at what length is it now? Off the
Well,
radio?
I was just listening actually on the radio. It's really, it seems it's about a 5-hour wait at the moment. There was a lovely old man who said, "Oh, I came all prepared early this morning, with a stool and with
so sweet.
with packed lunch, and he had all his medals on, and he said, and it appears we're going to be there in the next hour or so."
So it's going
About
faster than they think.
Another guy said he'd already been queuing for 3 hours and he was in. But he said it felt like 20 minutes, and he said a really lovely thing actually, and I felt this a bit being in the West End yesterday. He said, "It is so lovely just standing in London while it stops." He said, "We're always rushing in London." And he said to just stand and just really take in all these great monuments and buildings that we just rush past. And he said, my 3-hour wait has felt like 20 minutes.
But you didn't come into London when it was like that in London during lockdown. Do you remember? You refused to come in. You didn't want to.
I was too
and no,
I loved the film.
We did a film about it. But one of the sad byproducts, obviously, of COVID was that London. You felt London breathing. You felt it actually pause for breath, which it rarely does. And I think you're right. I think people will get a chance to stop in places where they can stop and reflect and look at the city, because it is a pretty city.
But people say they have made friends for life in the queues.
Ashley was queuing last night.
Was he?
Yeah. Ashley was queuing last night. I noticed it took him an hour to get from the Globe to Tate Modern, which is frighteningly slow progress.
Yeah.
Because that's about a 100-metre walk.
I wonder if it will ratchet up as people see it as their last chance, or whether it will peter out.
Well, I think it's going to be balmy at the weekend, surely. It's going to go stratospheric at the weekend when everyone can come from everywhere to do it all. What is queuing,
also,
says Denny?
But also...
Standing in a line.
But also, Theo Usherwood, the political correspondent for LBC, who's spent a lot of time walking with people and that one side. But then, of course, as people get up to Westminster, it becomes much more mournful. And so he said, but the other side, as people come out, because people are quite controlled in that, people are sobbing. He said it's almost impossible to talk to people because they are so moved. And I just heard a woman saying, you cannot believe how extraordinary it is when you go in there. It is so beautiful, so calm, so...
I bet it would be...
I would like to go.
I think the air would be almost electric in there, wouldn't it? It would be so sort of fizzing with sort of significance and sadness and everything. People asking, would we consider going?
Well, we
Francesca Bastos, we have reacted to that.
Yeah, the girls have got a lot of people staying this weekend, and so we are considering, aren't we, going and actually having it, because we were also thinking it would be really nice to get some footage to show you guys. So we're thinking about it. It might be pie in the sky because how close do you get. I'd quite like to talk to some people in the crowd.
Yeah, I
in the
would. I would
queues.
too. I think I'm
Look,
going to be
we're
in
gonna-
town, so why don't we do that?
Stay open.
Yeah,
we
we
might.
might.
We just might. You never know. We might be able to do a live from there or something.
yeah.
But we want to do something. We're just not sure yet what.
Amanda Language says, hello, I was being unfaithful listening to Making the Cut podcast.
his
They
neat
just
one.
mentioned you both. They rightly love you both. Oh, I'll stay here now and then go back. Bless you.
We
thank
love
you,
them.
Amanda.
We
Yeah, they're
really
great.
love them.
Reese Roberts, have you guys heard the story of the woman who queued for 30 hours, got to the front and got turned away because she carried too big a bag? And due to coming by herself, had no one to give it to. I thought they had
What?
It says somewhere that there's somewhere to put your bags.
Well, I saw a woman walking
That's
past
so
the coffee.
sad, Reece.
She had an enormous rucksack like that on her front, and I was like, blimey, I hope they went through that with a fine tooth
Mm.
comb. But listen to this. Guess what was happening yesterday? Either yesterday or this morning. There's, as you get nearer to Westminster, there's all the high-vis marshals and stuff. And one of them was the Archbishop of Canterbury, and nobody realised it was him.
And he was just asking
He
questions.
said, just talk to me about faith. He had it on his
Oh,
back, on his
wow.
high-vis jacket.
Wow, what? Talk to me about faith on his jacket.
Yeah, just had it on
Wow.
his back.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
But the stories of the marshalling are, the people say they're just incredible. You know, keeping them informed, chatting to them, letting in the queues, people. It's real, like that lovely sort of blitz sort of spirit.
I felt
People
it's-
are looking after. That's why I'm surprised that nobody said, "I'll look after your bag," because people.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was a bit much though. Quite a few people who've been camping out had to remove their tents and stuff like that. Didn't
But they said that right from the beginning. You cannot bring a tent.
Yeah.
They've got to.
They've
If
got to
you
have some
think
rules.
about the security issues that they have to be really, really strict.
Oh my
So
God, have you seen the level of security they're having to go to for
it's
all
the
the
same as an
dignitaries?
airport. It's,
No, but
it's
for
the
all
same
of
as
the
getting
dignitaries
into an
coming in
airport.
from all around, I mean, you've got effectively in one small place, sort of a square 1 mile, one mile square area, you're going to have the leaders of every country in the world apart from Russia, North Korea, and Myanmar.
Where's he, Linda?
Did you know that?
Oh, I know. They're all meeting up
Huh?
today. Russia, China.
I think China are
Myanmar.
coming. The only three countries that aren't
But
coming are
not
North
the- not
Korea,
the
Russia, and
not the
Myanmar.
president,
Ah, right.
because he's meeting Putin.
Oh,
They've
that-
got their equivalent of the G7.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about for the funeral.
No, that's what I mean.
Oh,
They're
right, I
not coming
see.
to the funeral
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
they're all meeting up. while
No,
we're
they
having
weren't
a funeral.
invited. They weren't invited. That's my point.
Russia was invited.
No, they weren't. No,
Are
no.
you
They-
sure?
yeah, absolutely, there were three countries which they didn't invite.
I know Myanmar wasn't.
Well, yeah,
oh yeah,
Mi-
you're right. Actually, yeah. Sorry, you are right. I was
Anyway,
just thinking of Putin having sent that message.
Well, we were going to talk about the guard, of course. So queuing, people obviously some people in America are asking what the fuck does queuing mean? Because of course you use the word line, stand in line,
Ah.
get in the line.
But let's
Where's
first
the
talk
line?
about what happened and then talk about, because we're going to use that as a peg, aren't we? What happened with them?
No, I'm talking about just clarifying for the Americans
Oh.
what queuing is, because a number of people are asking
Oh.
what queuing means, and I'm saying queuing
Oh.
actually means in the line, stay in the line, stand in the line. So for anyone who's not British, queuing is a huge,
It's massive.
culturally
It's a
important
huge
thing.
thing.
Yeah, we observe queue, and if you don't observe a queue and you're British, my God, will you hear
It's
about it?
so funny. Nobody would jump the queue, or like when you go, well, as a Brit, when you go abroad and like somebody would just push you. We are so affronted by anyone pushing in on a queue.
It's really
I mean,
weird.
and if you join what you think might be a queue, but you're not sure, terribly sorry, are you queuing? Oh, right, okay, well, I'll queue behind you. You know, I mean, my daughter and I queued yesterday. Queued yesterday, and we were like, then we realised we were queuing. We didn't even need to queue. We just automatically queued.
Well, I was just wanted to say, you know, like when you stroke Toffee at that particular part of her back and her back leg starts to judder.
Yeah.
You know, if you get Toffee in the right place, her leg starts to go. If I'm standing out, if you were to say to me, don't be bothered about queuing, but then I found myself near a queue and someone standing in front of me, I've got no free will in being affronted.
No.
It's like, hang on, do you know where the back of the queue is? Hang on, you know the person I had to send to the back of the queue, the most famous person I had to send to the back of the queue in New York, was someone really pushy. It was Adam Sandler. And I said, do you mind? I mean, the back of the queue's over there. And the guy in front of me said, that's Adam Sandler. He ran off. He didn't want to queue. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
It's like
if
a
you're,
nervous
if you're not
tick.
a Brit,
Yeah.
you will honestly, and if you've never been here, you will be so shocked. We would queue for anything, wouldn't
Yeah,
we?
absolutely. And everything. And we do.
So this extraordinary queue. Apparently, there has been something. No, not for as many days. That has been likened to this, and that was when Maradona died. Apparently.
That was big.
Apparently the queues stretched for miles and miles.
Well, when the Queen Mother
I don't
died,
know
she
football.
also lay in state, and there were, I remember there being queues along Millbank for that as well. So we have
Diana,
had that.
did people
I don't think so.
pass by Diana?
I don't think so. But yes, you're right. Everyone's now asking about the guard. So the guard who fainted. Now look, I feel so sorry for him because if you watch the clip, which we have seen, he really lands on his face. And this is one of the guards who's
So
standing guard
bless him.
alongside the coffin with the Queen in. They do change guard. I think they move every 20 minutes and they change every 6 hours or something. But anyway.
I think we've all, haven't we, when we've seen the incredible discipline of these
Oh,
people. I
my
mean,
Lord.
immaculate. And I was watching it the other day with one of my girls, and I was like, oh my God, just imagine. A lot of them are elderly. And to stand for that long, I couldn't stand for 2 minutes like that. And then the heat and the weight of the uniform. And unfortunately, one of these poor chaps,
Stuart G, he landed on his face.
he passed out. But you know what? I feel so badly for him because the honour, you know, from that generation and, you know, the regiment, it would have meant everything to him. He would have done everything in his power not to fall. He would have felt himself going, wouldn't he? Really, really broke my heart. I just like, imagine if that was your granddad. You'd be,
Yeah.
oh
No,
my
it's heartbreaking.
God, you poor thing.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
You know, obviously our heart goes out to him, but we were wondering whether, just a couple of comments, just because there's a lag between what we talk about and then your comments. So, first, some people are talking about queuing. I was in a queue in a bank once and fainted, says Dawn Claricoats. The woman behind me just stepped over. That's true. I mean, like in a queue, I wonder if people are fainting in the queue.
Oh, somebody will have done for sure.
Yeah,
It was quite hot yesterday. It's a bit
Yeah,
cooler today.
yeah. DT, they should have stabilised his neck, not just turn him over the way they did. Yeah. Melanie Williams, I can't handle it when there's no queuing. I don't know what to do with myself. I know what you mean.
We do. I mean, Mark and I are terrible rule breakers. We are not rule makers.
You're a bad queuer.
But when
as
it
well.
How
You do
dare
not.
you-
You don't
Mark,
know.
I fully
Okay.
respect queues.
Here's-
Excuse me. Remember the man who jumped all the queue and walked through the middle of an airport?
Yeah, but if I didn't do that, we weren't getting out of there.
But
You were very
he
grateful
will
for
have
me.
not seen
Okay.
past the first stone.
What? Okay, here's queuing etiquette. What do you make of this? We're all a family. Nadia says, I'm going to get in the line and I'm going to wait. Or she makes me stand in the line and I wait. And she says, we'll be back. And then you go away and about 45 minutes, you all pile in.
Absolute rubbish.
Everyone else in the queue looks
What are you talking
furious because
about?
we've held a space. Is it queuing etiquette to hold a space, or should you wait until you're all available to go into the queue?
No. If
No,
you
no.
are holding people up, like say you get to the front of the queue and your family aren't there, you can't make people wait behind you. Just go, go. What would be wrong with that? Still not stealing anyone's place.
But if you've got to go through the process of getting more people in, so you join a queue and then suddenly you felt it. You've been in a
such
queue.
a British route.
You've been in a queue.
Over queuing.
You've been in a
See
queue.
what I mean?
You're queuing to get into
Could you
the.
imagine for the Americans
Yeah.
to go, oh my God, these two
Well,
guys.
someone just said they queue. Americans line up in supermarkets. No, we know you
not
queue,
as
but
much
not in the same
as
way.
us.
So you're in a queue. You're waiting to get in to see.
Shouting a bit,
You're
shouting
waiting
a
to see.
No, just
You're
a
waiting
bit.
to see a musical, and it's pretty tight. You might not get in, and then someone in front of you is standing there, and suddenly at the last minute, as you're thinking we're just going to get to our chair, they go, "Come over," and 8 people swell in front of you. Are you trying to tell me you wouldn't go? Oh, come on! Are you trying to tell me you wouldn't? Ah, God!
No, because if those 8 people hadn't come, the person on their own would have bought the 8 tickets anyway.
No, not bought them. Get in. You've got to go through the process of doing it. Time
No,
is of the
I
essence.
don't mind about that. I literally don't mind. Somebody has got you a place in the queue. I'm okay with that. But anyway, this poor chap, it got us thinking about things because he will have been mortified and embarrassed, and he shouldn't be
No, he
because he was doing a great thing and he was overwhelmed and it was a physical thing. But so it got us thinking about things that we've done that might be embarrassing. And Mark said, straight away, he said to me, I know exactly the time that you embarrassed me so much. And what is it? When did I embarrass you so much?
Well, I think everyone on the channel will probably know what it was. Do you remember? I'm a rocket man.
Oh,
rocket
God.
man.
Oh, right, fair enough. Yeah, that was very bad.
So literally filming
was-
on the red carpet. Find it
Many
on our
of you
channel
will know
somewhere.
this already.
Because I sought to repeat it in
Google
slow-mo for months on end. Nadia took a big drop on the red carpet whilst me, her and Maddie were going to the Rocket Man premiere. You did style it out. You went down onto your knees
It was so
Fortunately,
embarrassing.
all of the press were just round the
Oh
corner,
my
so you
God.
avoided
There
that.
was huge Rocket
Look,
Man,
people have seen it, yeah.
a wall of, just behind that were all the big stars and all the packs and
Mark
everything.
Strong was right behind us. He just looked at you on the floor.
Oh my God, it was so embarrassing because I was waving like that, all full of myself,
Oh,
and I just went arse over tit.
You were a
was
bit.
so
You were
embarrassing.
so going. Yeah. You weren't full of. She's never full of herself in that
I
way.
think it's
But
nice to wave at people. People go down the red carpet and they don't even look at all the people
I agree.
standing there. So
I
I
agree.
always give a big wave, but it did make me look even more of a prat than if I hadn't been given a big wave because I was all Mrs. Confident. I've always said this. Thank God I hadn't had a drink, because if I had had a drink, I would have broken my
I'm
nose.
sure you must have had it.
No, we didn't. We met. It was really early. We hadn't had a drink because actually straight after that was like, I don't have gin and tonic now. I don't know what's going to happen because I was shaking.
God, thank God you did knickers and everything. It would have been awful if it had happened the other side. And then there was a brief moment with Dexter Fletcher, the director, where you came over to say hello and you were in such shock. And there's Mark Strong behind her going, looking down on you.
I was a blithering idiot.
Poor old Maddie wanted to look really cool. It was like, my mother's just fallen on the red carpet. I can't believe it. Anyway, that was a classic. So what's mine?
My other really embarrassing was when I slipped on a pork ball on
Oh, yeah.
stage
So it
and
was a
had to be
prawn
carried
ball.
off prawn ball because
Yeah.
I was so winded. That was really embarrassing.
thought you said
I
so
always do
windy.
things in front of hundreds of people,
That's-
preferably thousands.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. That's good. I don't. I used to. I used to make an art form of falling downstairs. I would slide down the stairs. Do you remember? You'd hear me here, and you would just hear. But what I managed to do was correct myself and then appear at the bottom of the stairs.
You do it all the time. I've just thought of something else really embarrassing.
Mm-hmm. For who?
When you'll have to Google this afterwards, guys. National Television Awards about 4 years ago, when all the cameras announced that it was this morning that had won. So I didn't think the
Oh,
camera
yes.
was going to be on me, and the camera was, and I turned to this
that's
bloke
right.
behind me. I went, not again. Every fucking year, I'm saying to this guy, but I'm all clamped up. I'm all there.
That was funny.
And then I had no idea. I woke up in the morning. No, it was on the way home in the car, and all the loose women and everything started texting me going, "Have you seen what's in the papers?" And they picked it up, and they'd worked out, because I literally went it was like no way, and it just, it was so cringe.
So cringe.
What about the
That's
time
funny.
when we thought we had the flash seats when we went to the cinema? And we
That was
didn't?
Rocket Man. That
Was
was
that
a
Rocket
double embarrassment. It was a double embarrassment.
And they went, "No, you're not. You're
Nearly
not there."
sat on
and
the
I went,
lap.
"No, I am.
Yeah.
Look, A, B.
Yeah.
No, you're in the small cinema
You're in the
around
smallest.
the corner."
But it was like we almost sat on Elton John's lap.
Oh my God, it was so cringe. I think one of the most embarrassing things with Mark ever was, it was our first ever date, and he had gone out the night before, got blind drunk,
So
fallen down the
party.
bloody
I've fallen down the
stairs.
stairs.
And he had a cut and a scab, like massive there.
Yeah.
So he was sat waiting for me in a restaurant with dark glasses on. It was so cringe. I was like, oh my God, he's a fucking maniac. Get me out of here.
I think one of the most embarrassing things I've done, because we were thinking about embarrassing things, I may have shared this before, but years ago we were at the Berlin Film Festival and we were waiting for Woody Harrelson to arrive because he was in, what was it, The People vs. Larry Flint, that's it.
Oh, this is embarrassing.
And Hayden, a couple of presenters that will remain nameless, and then the rest of the crew. We were all there, and we were all getting incredibly drunk, and we were waiting and waiting. It was the Berlin Film Festival. It was the festival hotel. He was due to come back, and so we had a camera, a big beta camera, great big one with. They don't have smaller cameras now, but big beta camera with a battery on the back, battery pack, and you had what's called a PAG light on top, which was the light that kind of lights people so that you're handheld. And we were waiting, we're getting more and more drunk, and we're sort of hurling abuse at each other, and we're getting more and more leery in reception. And suddenly, someone goes, "Woody's here!" So we all go pick up the kit, the presenters are falling over the sofas, they're annihilated. Jason, I think, was one of the presenters. And we ran over to the lift. As we got there, we're interviewing him, and I'm looking through the viewfinder, and the PAG light starts to go, which basically means your battery's draining. The first question comes out, the battery, red flash is going, how he hadn't seen it, because it was quite busy, so the camera dies. I can't say anything. Person next to me can see that the camera's died. We finished the questions, and all you've got on tape is Woody with a dying light, and then it cuts to black.
Embarrassing. embarrassing. There's some
very embarrassing.
There's
Go
some
back to
good.
the office.
There's some good embarrassment here. Who is it whose skirt fell down at her husband's graduation?
I'm trying to think.
Rhiannon Williams just watched it, Nadia. So funny. Which one? Where I'm saying every fucking year.
That scene from True Lies with the terrorist's battery drain. Yes, it's just a bit like that, actually. Laura
My
Lou.
husband told everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, go on.
My husband told everyone at Christmas dinner that I was given an animal print dressing gown, and told them I hate animal prints and dressing gowns. Was a gift from my mother-in-law sitting beside me.
No.
Oh no!
God.
Yeah, that's
cringe.
awful when someone's bought you something and you've said, "Oh, I don't like." Or when people sit there and lead with the mouth, go, "I can't stand it when such and such and such and such." Oh, I'll tell you a really
Oh
embarrassing
no, the
thing.
Creeper family. I fell over at the school gates on Poppy's first day at school.
Oh no! Oh no!
And in front of all those mums that can be very judgy.
I remember going to a friend of mine's flat. When I was in sixth form, his dad was a vicar, his mum was a head teacher. He lived in Notting Hill. Got incredibly drunk and stoned that night before. Woke up in the morning. He had this friend of mine an antique teddy bear collection. I mean, really collected over the years. His father had got them as a vicar from various relatives and all this. Incredibly precious. And I woke up early and vomited everywhere. All over his fucking antique bears.
Oh, Mark.
All over his antique
What
bears.
did you do?
The
Because you can't get sick out of bears.
I left. I just left them all.
With the sick on it.
I panicked. Chris said, "Have you been sick all over my bears?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm so sorry." He said it took them about 3 weeks to try and get the bits out of them.
Tell the story that you told us yesterday, but don't tell the end bit, the bit where it was all too much. Just tell the first bit.
Oh my God. How do I tell that without telling
I'll
the
tell
end
it
bit?
because you're too dangerous.
Okay,
So this
so-
friend of his, right, she was so drunk at this party.
Yeah.
So she stumbles up to the toilet, sat on the toilet,
Knickers down.
knickers down, and she threw up
Into her
her
knickers.
knickers by accident.
And in
That's
order...
the only bit of the story
No, there's
we
one
are
more bit
telling.
we can
No.
tell. There's one more bit we
Mark.
can tell. One more bit. She pulled them back up
And went back to the
carried
party.
on at the party. There's more to that story, but I'm not allowed to tell you.
Don't even. If you tell that part of the story, I will. There is so many things I'll do to you.
Oh, fantastic. Like what? Will you wear an outfit like Cassia
Mark, stop it.
in my Married at First
Oh my
Sight?
God, I'm in a terrible state today.
Why?
Well, because it's lovely. I'm meeting up with Kay and Jane. We're having dinner. We haven't seen each other for ages. I haven't seen Jane all summer. But what am I going to miss?
Yeah.
Married First Sight UK.
I'll have to hold the fort
watching
tonight.
it. No, what are you going to do a live stream?
Yeah, I'll do one too.
Right, we've got some amazing news.
It's bizarre news. It's bizarre news.
Which we're going to tell you at the end.
Oh, right. So what
It's personal news.
Yeah.
And,
So we-
and we got an email late last night, and we'll give you a clue. Should we say what area of the world the email came from? Yes.
Yeah.
Came from LA.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to tell you. And then we're going to tell you the news.
So, quick story. You want to talk about Meghan and Harry holding hands?
Right, I've got a bit of theory. Now, there has been real vitriol about Meghan, interestingly, holding Harry's hand. Not Meghan and Harry holding hands, Meghan holding Harry's hand. And there's been real vitriol, it's a disgrace, disrespecting protocol, blah, 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 blah. And I've been thinking and looking at this and going, I mean, for me, a lot of what I've been watching over the last few days has been very wrapped up from. I've been thinking about William and Harry. There have been so many triggering. I mean, that procession, how they did that procession. If you go back and you look at the film of when they walked behind their mother's coffin, how tiny they were. They were tiny. And they walked with no tears, like everybody walked again with no tears, the control that this family has. But behind closed doors, his wife will be seeing and hearing everything. And when they came out and they were looking at, and he did very much adore the Queen as well, didn't he, Harry?
I think it was her
And
favourite grandson.
She was putting her hand on his back, and she was holding his hand, and she was rubbing his thumb. And there's been lots of anger about it. Now,
Why?
well, I think there are different reasons. I think that some people that are royalists are very, very protective of the royals. I think we can be a bit nationalistic about it, you know.
So it's like it's our
royal
territory.
family, it's our territory, you should behave in our way. And you know, when you think about all our history and our royal family are so entwined, it's like for a lot of people it's our very being, those two things, so that they just don't like anyone sort of in any way shaking.
So it's
what we do.
proprietary.
Proprietary is good word. I think some people are. I don't agree with everything that comes against Meghan and Harry is about racism. I don't believe that, but I think some people are racist, definitely, to Meghan. But I've got a nut, so we know all of that because we talk about that a lot. But I've had a different thought today of why some people are so angry about them holding hands. And I think in there is a kind of, a lot of people are really unhappy with their romantic life, or they're lonely, or they have a kind of relationship where they're not getting what they want from the relationship. And I said to Mark this morning, I was even watching them when they were getting in the car, and he jumped round to the side of the car and he opened the door for her and he held her back,
Chivalrous.
and she stood back and she allowed him to do it for her, and she got in the car, and it was a beautiful moment, and it was chivalrous, and it was gentlemanly, and it was romantic, and it was two people in love and two people caring for each other. And I think sometimes,
Jealousy.
well, I don't want to just say jealousy because it just dismisses everyone as being some. I think sometimes that hurts people.
Right.
When they see something that they want so badly, yeah, jealousy, it can literally be like a pain, and then people turn. There's somebody in my life that I'm thinking of at the moment that can get so bitter about things, and I think, oh, please don't be that bitter, because actually I know it's because you're sad about blah, blah, blah. And I just thought I'd pose that question.
I hate to quote Yoda, but anger leads to hate. Hate
leads to suffering.
And I think you could probably argue that the reason a lot of people are nasty about a lot of people is good old-fashioned jealousy or resentment or frustration or a lack of something in their own lives, perhaps. I think you're right. I think what frustrates me, there are two ways to read absolutely everything in life. And I think the way in which you choose to read anything says more about you. So, for example, Harry opens a door, puts his hand on her back, she takes
He's
it.
being disrespectful.
He's being he's being controlled by her. He somehow is, henpecked and all this. So you go that narrative rather than actually he's made a choice of his own free will to be incredibly kind, incredibly caring,
And he loves his
considerate
wife.
to his wife.
And he's Now listen, we are not mad Meghaners or mad Harriers, or we're not like, whoa, everything they do is perfect. I think a lot of what they've done has been actually really bad.
I think you should delay the publication of his book.
The only thing I think is really bad is them talking about the royal family and then wanting HRH and all of that. I don't like any of that. But I think the vitriol is just awful. But I just wanted to look more deeply at it and just say, is this some people's just sadness about their own lives?
I think there's a huge amount of it is jealousy, and I think a huge amount of it is, like you say, they've made some. For example, I think he should definitely put a pause on the book. I just think, after everything.
I really do.
I think he should perhaps go back to it and maybe
But
reconsider
of course, we
aspects
know
of it.
the
and all
way
that kind of
things
stuff.
work, Mark. Once you're in a publishing deal, you can't.
No.
There's huge amounts of money.
Yeah.
It's business.
Yeah.
So I think even if he wanted to,
He can't. Yeah.
The only way that he could is if, business-wise, the publishers say it's not a good time to release it because people won't want to buy it. Because people could.
Well, I
if
think
they're
they would.
strong
I mean,
enough,
if I was a
they would
publisher,
boycott.
I would say don't hold back, because I think people will boycott it.
Yeah,
I-
because when he did the book, he didn't expect
No.
the Queen. Well, mind you,
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway,
Anyway, we're going to pop the other story, which is a good topic, into tomorrow's coffee morning, which is going on holiday on your own or not going on holiday with your family. I just want to say,
it's such a good topic,
Yeah, we'll
though.
do
I
it
did
tomorrow.
trail it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We're 34 minutes in.
Do you want us to do it? Let's do it, because we said we would do it
Okay.
on Instagram. And I worry that people might have come for it because it is quite a juicy story. Mark found this story, and I was straight away, oh my God. So this was something posted on Reddit. So husband and wife.
The story isn't. The story's in the Sun.
Oh, okay, but he'd posted it on Reddit, hadn't he? I read. But anyway, his wife, this chap's wife, who's American, booked their holiday to America. Is over the moon about it. And she's cross with him because he's not excited about going on holiday. Now, his reasons for that are, I don't really want to go to America and see her family for holidays, and they're nice enough people, but I don't want to travel all that way. I don't want to spend all my money. And she's also booked out my entire holiday dates. So I have to take an unpaid day off, and then I have to be back at work 10 hours after landing. So I did think, well, actually, I think she's been quite selfish.
Yeah, so the story is, so she's wanting him to go with her. She's booked all of his holiday time to the point that he has to take another day off, and also using all of his holiday pot of money for the trip.
So he can't go on any other holiday.
And his feeling on this is, I love you. Okay, I'm just reminding myself.
Yeah.
I love your family, but I don't want to spend all my holiday.
Yeah, and so it's quite interesting, all the different comments, because there's some people that fall in the camp, well, it's not your holiday. She's booked a holiday, and now she's angry with you because you're not excited. I mean, he's still going. And but then there's other people saying, if you marry a foreigner, you are going to have to understand that they're going to want to see their family. And she would have made all sorts of compromises to live here, and this is your compromise. So I was like, but
it's hard, isn't it?
spinning it out from that, because whenever we would go on holiday, my dad, and I always used to feel sorry for my mum, would say, families should not go on holiday together.
Right. Well, that's
This is the
nice.
time to
Well,
have a
all sat
break.
around the pool.
Yeah, it's time to have a break from each other.
Bless him.
What do you think?
I think there's a huge argument.
You've only got one holiday a year.
Well, if you've only got one holiday a year, I think it's hard. Well, it's maybe if you've got 2 weeks, you spend a week with a holiday and a week away. I think different strokes for different folks. I think a lot of families or people are wanting to spend that time together because they don't see each other. But if you spend more time with each other, perhaps there's absolutely a necessity to kind of. I think it's about being more creative with the time that you've got, perhaps. But I think the idea of absence from everyone makes the heart grow fonder. I think is true. I think it does help.
No, you haven't missed the news.
No.
We're going to do it now. But anyway, I just thought that was like, maybe we're going to move to, maybe that will be something in the future. You know how like people now more and more are wanting separate bedrooms? Separate bathrooms.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get to the point where way marriages work to separate.
Well, maybe we get to the point where people separate. I mean, maybe we just need to all separate and you're dating again. Maybe dating is the thing rather than marriage.
There is something about taking time out from your relationship, though.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think it's really important to have time where you can just not be a mum, a mother, a husband, a wife, where you can be your independent self. So
I
not
agree.
for too long, because I think
agree.
it causes problems.
I agree.
Right, so our
But in a sense,
news.
the division can kick in and it becomes a bit too fixed. So, we were watching what's it called? Matt? What's it called, the show we watch? I've forgotten.
Married at First Sight UK.
Married at First Sight. We were watching Married at First Sight, and I just suddenly leapt up and said, "Oh, Nads, I've just received an email." And
No, he didn't. I've just got an email, and I was like, my heart.
hang on, I think we've just cut out. We've just cut out. Just one second, sorry.
Wandering.
Are we back? Sorry about that.
Yeah, so he went, Nadia. And usually he calls me Nadia. I was like, oh my God. He goes, I've just received this email. And I was like, oh God, what's happened? Because it was like 11 o'clock it was at like 10 o'clock at night. I thought, oh my God, what's happened? And then he does this thing, Mark. He never just tells me something, he reads it. So you take over, it's your news.
Well, as some of you will know from my Instagram, the film The Gangbuster won an award at the CineQuest Film Festival, which won the best short narrative comedy, which we were absolutely ecstatic about. And whenever people go, oh, CineQuest, I'll be like, yeah, it's an Academy Award accredited festival. Then last night I got an email, which you've got to understand, the title of it said, The Gangbuster Academy Qualified. I'm sure you know the jury chose The Gangbuster as the best narrative short for comedy, and as CineQuest is an Oscar qualifying festival, you're eligible for submitting it to the Oscars. Therefore, we have been sent more information from the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences. We ask for your help ensuring that your qualifying award-winning films are submitted to the Academy for consideration.
This is like...
Please alert your winning filmmakers, it's two of us, to be sure that they have begun the entry process. So last night, I found myself quite quickly writing an email and going through this process of, we've been longlisted as a film to be considered, and we will be Little Oscar is going to be watched by the Academy members.
Be watched by the
Doesn't
Academy.
mean we're nominated yet, but we're longlisted.
But we're in. Get into the Academy, to be considered for an Oscar
Now, when we announced the CineQuest thing, I said, "Oh, it's Academy credit," and we both said, "Oh, you know," I said, "Of course, that's pie in the sky. Of course, it's pie in the sky."
Well, I think we might have said it on here.
Yeah, we did. And then I knew that we'd won the award, but I thought it was just the narrative short that was eligible. Then you go through the Academy Award list and you go through the eligible film winners, you know, films that won prizes, and it says narrative short comedy is eligible to be put forward for the best short narrative film Oscar.
And
Right down to the fact that the paperwork, this is what I love. And, you know, look, we've got our feet on the ground. We make it's the first round and all that kind of stuff. But we're in.
It's massive to get in,
Academy, all the Academy are going to be watching it. And I love the fact that there's that line from Oscar where he says to Cush in the film, he says, "My name's Oscar," and he says, "Oscar," and he goes, "Yeah, like the Oscar, like the award that actors win." And he says, "Award?" He goes, "Yeah, like the award that actors win. But my grandfather says you can't win an Oscar if you've got asthma."
Imagine if we get nominated and that clip of the film comes up.
Anyway,
because I'm the producer on it.
Yeah. There's a note that says if you win, you're allowed a maximum of 2 statuettes. I just love that. I just love the fact that... Anyway.
So if we were to win, he would get a statue and I would get a statue. We'd have 2 fucking Oscars in the house. I mean, the wonderful thing is that Maddie also... Did the music. The music is beautiful.
With Finlay.
And with my nephew Finlay, who some of you have heard their music. So it's just the most exciting news.
Yeah, no, it is amazing. So I've got all these documents and emails coming in from the Academy. It's so bizarre, filling out all these kind of rules and regulations and everything.
But it keeps getting emails with the Academy on the
bizarre.
top.
It's bizarre. So anyway, we're going to go and let Oscar's mum know now. So that'll be fun. So there's
it was
your
so
news.
funny because just when we heard the
Even
news,
if it doesn't make it Melanie Williams, the shortlist, to be eligible for Academy submission is a huge accolade.
it is.
Precisely.
We've won so much today.
Yeah.
Well, last night at 10 o'clock. We haven't even told our families yet.
No,
You know, we saved
no.
it to tell you.
We've essentially been longlisted, and we're just absolutely tickled.
No, I mean, to get into the long list of the Oscars is really, really something amazing. I'm so proud of you.
Bah, humbug!
He's such a brilliant filmmaker and person.
I'm really,
and
really
everything.
chuffed. Really
and
chuffed.
you know, and also,
Thank you.
it's such a family affair as well. That it's just so meaningful to us. So yeah, we wanted to share that news with you.
It was just lovely because also the original festival that won the award, so many people, I got contacted by a lot of filmmakers going, "What a sweet but funny film."
It's such a sweet film.
really
I can't
lovely.
wait for you to see it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, and it was going to go on the members area, but
Will
now
you
we've got
thank
this
us at the
complication. It's being
awards?
held back.
Will you thank us at the awards? If we win,
We'll thank
we
all
will
of
go.
you.
Thank you to all our subs.
Yeah, exactly. Could you
We
imagine?
have to.
Could you
We'll have
imagine?
to write subs on our hand there so we don't forget because we'll
Yeah.
be so overwhelmed.
Oh.
Because with the gowns and everything and
Sophie
tripping
R,
up
that'd
the
be great.
stairs and
Yeah.
oh my god, imagine if I fell over at the Oscars.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be good. That would be up there with your
Mark, I
embarrassing
can't
moments.
fall over at the Oscars. I can't go if we're nominated.
We've got to do it. We've got to do it. But anyway, guys, there you go.
Bye guys. Lots
Lots
of
of
love.